When I get hit, what I'm thinking about, motherfucker, you tagged me. Now it's my turn to tag you back.
And referee Pat Russell steps in and stops it.
I had to put my pride to the side and not get willed into a war.
Mike Alvarado has fought the fight of his life.
One apiece, Alvarado and Rios entering the ring just moments from now.
So you're here in Denver and you're training for the fight against Rios. You do have baggage, which can haunt you and can get you into trouble. And at the beginning of this month, you get arrested again. And these circumstances are really, to an outside observer, Mike, seemingly inexplicable. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. You're in a car with a gun, which for a convicted felon like you is an automatic violation. How in the world could you have decided to be in that position in a car with a gun at 4 o'clock in the morning, given everything that's at stake for you?
Yeah, I just woke up. I was thirsty. I had a room downtown. I just was at the wrong place at the wrong time. I didn't know the gun was in there, so.
You were with a friend?
Yeah.
And you say that it was his gun. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And so if you say you
it just
up,
wasn't my gun, you know? I mean, the owner of that gun knew it was his and put it in there. I had no idea he had it in there, so, you know, just going to the store at that time in the morning, that was just the risk I took.
Is it fair to say that the bottom line is that even under the most serious and meaningful of circumstances, you're subject to impulses that might momentarily lead you down the wrong path?
Yeah, definitely. It was another learning experience, and I put it behind me. I mean, I'm just worried about this fight, just focused on the fight. Adversity's been one huge thing in my account. Something bad always has to happen. It's just the way it's been in my career. That's what helped me develop the perseverance that I have within me. And when I'm in that ring, it just helps my heart. It just helps me go stronger.
After his victory over Mike Alvarado in their first fight, it was not smooth sailing for Brandon Rios either. Back-to-back decision losses to Alvarado and Manny Pacquiao, then a suspension for a failed drug test preceded his last appearance in the ring against Diego Chavez. Here's a closer look at what followed that.
So going into the Chavez fight, you know, it wasn't the best performance of myself because that's the first time taking 8 months off. We're not doing nothing, not even running or nothing. And I came in the gym very heavy, very fat. The outcome, it's not the way I wanted to win.
And he's going to deduct a point from Chavez for holding. This is going to be a disqualification.
I looked at that fight once and I see my body was just, it wasn't the right, it was just out of shape. It looked out of shape and everything. So I did a lot of soul searching, and I had to remember the drive that got me to where I was at. Put that pride aside and been disciplined. I'm not hard-headed. I'm not, oh, no, fuck that, my way. No. It's whatever the coach say now. I feel like I'm back to my old self again, like when I first started.
Now we're in Mike Alvarado's hometown and on his home turf, but we're not that terribly far from Brandon Rios' original hometown of Garden City, Kansas, a few hours drive away. So the expectation was that a fair number of Rios' fans from Kansas would make the trip from Garden City and the surrounding area to see their man here tonight. And as he prepares to walk to the ring, it does indeed sound as though there are some Rios fans in the arena. One strong element for Brandon Rios, his relationship with his longtime trainer, Robert Garcia. Garcia, one of the most successful trainers in the sport, and to my way of thinking, Andre, an ideal trainer for a fighter who fights in Brandon's style.
No, I agree with that, Jim, 100%. And at the fighter meeting, Rios, who's a straight shooter, he basically told us, I started listening to Robert again. And personally, like I said earlier, I just saw a fighter who was at peace with himself. He was one with his trainer, and he backed up the talk with walks. He started training early for this fight. He has been in Denver for 3 weeks preparing. He put himself in a position to win.
If you've been a big Rios fan in the past, and you see something tonight that shocks you, don't fall off the sofa if you see Brandon Rios actually moving his head and dodging some punches, slipping and ducking as he comes in. He said that in this training camp, for the first time, he's made a commitment to trying to learn that element of the craft and not just blocking punches or barging into them as he's always done before.
Yeah, head movement, inside game, that's Brandon Rios at his best, and he doesn't have to relearn it, he just has to go back to what got him where he is today.
So Rios makes his way in. The first fight between these two was very much to Brandon Rios' liking, an all-out war in which ultimately he found the openings while Alvarado was constantly throwing to land enough to ultimately score a TKO. The first 6 rounds of the second fight were very much the same. But then, beginning in round 7 of the second fight, this is what you saw. Alvarado moving on his feet, moving away from Rios' right hand, stepping in and landing combinations, then stepping back out. And what that did, that CompuBox numbers demonstrate, was to limit Brandon Rios' attack. Look at the blue highlighted numbers on the upper right side of the graphic. And you see the distinction between those numbers and all the other numbers here. And you see that Alvarado continued to throw at pretty much the same rate and landed at fairly close to the same connect rate. But in the second 6 rounds of the second fight, Brandon Rios' numbers dropped off as he had a much harder time finding the moving target once Alvarado became the moving target. So not surprisingly, Andre, Alvarado says, that's exactly what I have to do tonight.
That's where Alvarado is going to have his best success, is when he's moving, and he's a very good mover, and he doesn't run, and he punches well off the movement. That's going to cause Brandon Rios to first have to track him down and then punch, versus being nose-to-nose where Brandon only has to just punch.
It was March 30, 2013, when Alvarado made that tactical adjustment and beat Brandon Rios in their second fight. Later that year, he came here to this arena in Colorado for what he expected to be a homecoming celebration against Ruslan Provodnikov. And the game plan was to box Provodnikov pretty much the same way that he had against Brandon Rios. He wasn't able to do it, and his trainers said that part of the problem was training here in Denver. So once again, he prepares for a big fight at home, and he decides again to train here in Denver.
Yeah, we don't understand the logic of training in Denver when Denver has been, just a place that has plagued Alvarado as he prepares for fights, and even when he's not preparing for a fight. But he told us that he made the decision to come back here and train, so he's got to live with that decision tonight.
It's a packed house in Mike Alvarado land. Tight quarters, and the crowd bunching toward him as he very slowly makes his way to the ring. And now as Alvarado steps through the ropes, we go up to ring announcer Michael Buffer. For the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bob Arum and his Top Rank Incorporated are proud to present the main event of the evening. It's the rubber match for the unofficial Blood and Guts Trophy of Boxing. This is 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant WBO International Championship, sponsored by Tecate con Carácter and sanctioned by the Colorado State Boxing Commission, Chairman William Artist, Vice Chairman Raymond Garcia, Director Joseph Mason. WBO Supervisor will be John Duggan. At ringside, should this contest go the distance, the three judges scoring will be Robert Hoyle, Ed Kugler, and Levi Martinez. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Jay Nady. And now, the officials are ready, the fighters are in the ring, and they are ready. Mile High boxing fans, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing rojo con los colores de Mexico, weighing in officially at 146 3/4 pounds. His professional record, an excellent one. 32 victories, including 22 wins by knockout, only 2 defeats with 1 draw. Fighting out of Oxnard, California, USA, the former lightweight and light welterweight champion of the world, Brandon Bam Bam Rios. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black with gold, official weight 146 1/2 pounds. As a professional, also an outstanding record. 34 victories, including 23 wins by knockout, only 3 defeats. From Thornton, Colorado, USA, the former light welterweight champion of the world, Mile High Mike Alvarado.
Any questions? Good luck. Touch gloves. Let's go to work. Let's go, guys.
It sounds as though everyone who came here to support Alvarado against Provodnikov and was disappointed by the loss came back tonight anyway. Big house, loaded crowd, very noisy, mostly Alvarado support.
Team Alvarado told us in the fighter meeting that even though they want him to box, early respect, getting respect from Brandon early is important to them and important to their game plan. Run in and hold him, don't. Box.
Alvarado switches to a southpaw stance. First tactical move of the fight.
Rios told us he also sparred with the southpaw in case Alvarado did that in this fight. Said there's nothing that he can do that I'm not prepared for.
Don't hold.
Alvarado back out of the southpaw stance. Takes the first big shot of the fight from Brandon Rios. Rios is busier early on. Alvarado holding his fire. A marked contrast to the Mike Alvarado who was throwing 120 punches around at the beginning of their first fight in Carson, California.
Mentally, he's battling with himself already 2 minutes into this fight. Do I stand and fight and please these fans and do what I really want to do, or do I stick to the game plan and see if that works? Meanwhile, Brandon Rios
doing whatever he wants to do.
Brandon Rios is being Brandon Rios.
That's right. Left hook for Rios. Doubling up with the left.
A lot of times Rios doesn't get credit for his defense mid-range and in close. He's very crafty. Big right hand from Rios.
I'm not sure he's ever deserved credit for his defense the way he deserves it right now. We've already seen some of that newfangled head movement he talked about.
Not just the head
slipping
movement.
along the way. Yeah.
Exactly. It's the rolling with punches. It's breaking shots down. Good work from Brandon right now. And Alvarado's busted up already and doesn't have an answer right now.
This is a tremendous first round for Brandon Rios, who's been landing straight rights, jabs, uppercuts, left hooks, and generally getting his way against Mike Alvarado. Alvarado has begun to open up in the last minute of the round, but it was all Brandon Rios, and there are red marks on Alvarado's face.
Here's Bill's bloody nose. Okay. I'm not taking him out too fast. Open him out. Relax now. You need to get some more punches going. You know that, right? We got to get some respect back. Okay? Put the blow in your nose. We got to get some respect back, okay? He's walking right to you.
He's yours, this guy's yours. But be careful, I don't want you to commit any errors. In short, be careful with the uppercuts, all right? His uppercuts, okay? At your range and your distance, and you can do whatever you want. Play with him, he's yours, son. Okay? And finish off with a body attack, okay?
Here we see vintage Brandon Rios. He comes in low, behind the jab, lands a right hand at the top of the temple, as Alvarado tried to get out of the side door, lands a small jab right there and a vicious right uppercut to the face of Mike Alvarado.
Copy box numbers shockingly one-sided. Alvarado 6 out of only 23 punches thrown in the round. Brandon Rios 29 out of 80, including 21 of those 29 were power shots. It was an all Brandon Rios round. So you heard Sean Billhauer, Alvarado's trainer, saying, we've got to get some more respect. Early in this round, he's not getting it yet.
Sorry, Jim. Rios just hurt Alvarado with a right uppercut, and he's pouring it on right now. This is vintage Brandon Rios right here on the inside. Vicious, vicious body puncher.
This is vintage Brandon Rios against an opponent who, at least in terms of his previous reputation and activity, hasn't yet shown up.
Mike Alvarado is shown to be able to come back from this type of beating if he's getting hit like this. But you have to respect the sport of boxing. You have to dedicate yourself, especially when the other man has. And Rios looks like he's dedicated himself solely for this fight tonight.
Alvarado switching to a southpaw stance and now staying in the southpaw stance. Tried to land a right jab, went over the top of Rios' head. Now Alvarado throwing with the left and switches back to the conventional stance and gets clocked by Rios, and Alvarado's knees wobbled. And Rios has him in trouble with a minute and a half to go in round 2.
Rios looks strong, he looks vicious, and he looks like he knows exactly what he wants to do. Alvarado seems to be in between game plans. He doesn't know if he wants to box. He doesn't know.
And that is a low blow, according to Jay Nady. Brandon Rios went straight to his knees after what looked as though it might have been a body shot. Jay Nady quickly rules it's a low blow.
Don't hit him low. I know he didn't mean to. It's okay, but don't do it again. Back there.
Rios should take as less time as possible here because he had Alvarado going, and he doesn't want to give Alvarado too much time to get himself together.
Well, If Alvarado wanted to stop the rally, that's one way to do it. And he got away with it because Jay Nady isn't going to penalize him off with just one low blow. But here comes Rios again. And he can still find the target just as easily as before. Landing that uppercut over and over. Alvarado finally lands a solid left hook. Best punch he's thrown so far. But Rios comes back, making rain, and there's a hard left hook. Once again, Alvarado is wobbled.
Vicious body work from Rios, and he's coming back to the head with it to add insult to injury. Good work from Brandon Rios right now. Punishing Mike Alvarado right now.
Another brilliant round for Brandon Rios, who is hammering Mike Alvarado. And through the first 2 rounds, it's a one-sided fight entirely in Rios' favor. That's Mike Alvarado's mother at ringside with the stricken look on her face.
I'm gonna get you out there one more round. Okay? Get your hands up, start jabbing. Okay? Deep breath. I'm going out, you're going out for this round. Deep breath, deep breath. Throw some fucking punches. Go out there, throw some goddamn punches. All right, baby?
Nice sequence from Brandon Rios here. Jab, right hand, and what we call a swivel jab, which stunned Mike Alvarado. Shook his legs up a little bit. Nice right uppercut to follow that. Here's the low blow from Mike Alvarado. It may have been a survival tactic from Mike to say, I need a breather, I need to get myself together.
Box numbers in the second round. Alvarado 10 out of 34, slightly better than in round 1, but Rios 39 out of 95, including 34 power connects for Brandon Rios. No one who saw Mike Alvarado's astonishing come from behind victory over Bradis Prescott, the fight that really rose or brought him to the highest level of the sport, would ever completely count him out of a fight. But if this continues the way it's been so far, it's a matter of how long and when, not who.
Because the difference between this fight and the other 2 fights is Alvarado had more action early. He set the tone. He's not setting any tones right now. Rios is setting the tone, and he's brutalizing Mike Alvarado, and Mike Alvarado may not be able to recover from this.
We've had a series of uppercuts for both the right and the left hands of Rios, landing flush. He's landed a couple of body shots, but the target has been so easy to reach upstairs that Rios is focusing upstairs and basically trying to pile up enough punishment to knock Alvarado out.
Yeah, he's a cumulative type of fighter. He wants to bust you up to the body and the head. Very tough and very difficult to deal with. Jay Nady, if this continues, has to start taking a hard look at Mike Alvarado, because he's not responding to the punches of Brandon Rios.
The look on his face, you've seen it in the movies, of an old fighter who almost wants to be punished.
6, 7, 8, 9. Are you okay? All right, box.
Jay Nady's got to take a close look here.
He didn't wait for an answer when he said, "Are you okay?" I have no idea what the answer really would have been had Alvarado answered honestly. No, I'm giving the living Dickens kicked out of me. Had to search for the word.
Even those small shots that Rios landed, with those small gloves on, they're punishing. To the body, to the head, the liver, uppercuts to the chin. He's touching Alvarado every place you can possibly touch a man with a boxing glove right now.
And when Alvarado responds, he's trying to throw haymakers, which Brandon can see coming, and is ducking, slipping, stepping away, and making a miss. That's a quick left hook by Brandon Rios. And a jolt to the system when he lands it. Alvarado lands a right hand, momentarily backs Rios off. Rios comes back to the right of his own, and now the fight has begun. once again, that's Mike Alvarado's mother.
I'm going to send you out there, then I'm stopping it, okay? Okay, that's it right now? Okay. Yeah, he's complaining he can't see. That's his eyes. What? Does that mean you want to quit? No. Does that mean you want to? No. We're gonna stop. No. I want to get. Okay. You're going out there. I'm stopping. What do you see here? How many do you see? You call timeout, right? No. Okay. More. Take it down. What do you think, Doc? No. Fight's over. That's it.
That's it. Not a contest. Not a competition. A one-sided annihilation by a very well-prepared Brandon Rios of a seemingly totally unprepared Mike Alvarado.
And that's taking nothing from Rios. Rios did his part. He dedicated himself. We spoke about it earlier. We've never seen him locked in the way that he was before this fight. He put himself in a position to win, and Mike Alvarado simply didn't.
Alvarado's mother, stone-faced at ringside, and for the second time in his hometown, Mike Alvarado retires on his stool as the result of a frightful beating from a well-prepared opponent. You would call it one of the biggest wins of Rios' career, except that it was so easy.
Yeah, he definitely rejuvenated his career, in my opinion, with this victory tonight. Not just the victory, but how he got it.
Here are two angles of the knockdown, Andre Ward. Take us through it.
This is vintage Brandon Rios. Short uppercut, short left hook inside, beautiful right uppercut. Gets a little room, short left hook, missed the right uppercut, but the damage was already done. Down goes Mike Alvarado.
Accumulation of punishment. And that would have been the story all night long. If we had continued for a few more rounds, I think you would have seen a greater and greater accumulation of punishment from Rios, who by CompuBox count landed a nice, neat 100 power punches in 3 rounds.
Yeah, very economical. He threw the right type of punches. Rios doesn't get enough credit for his ability on the inside. He's one of the best inside fighters in the sport of boxing today.
His ability to generate power at short range, it's not that easy to do.
And believe it or not, it's not that easy to hit him when he's in close. Rios gets hit on the outside, not when he's on the inside as much.
So there's a look at Brandon Rios and his reaction as the fight was stopped. There's Brandon's wife, Vicky. And that's the victory celebration for Vicky Rios. And now let's go to Michael Buffer for the particulars on the TKO.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Jay Nady, acting on the advice of the ringside physician, calls a halt to this contest. The official time is the end of round number 3. The winner by TKO victory, and now the WBO International Welterweight Champion, Brandon "Bam Bam" Rios.
We did an interview.
Final CompuBox numbers for this relatively anticlimactic rematch. Rios lands 120 and Alvarado lands 20. You can figure out the difference there. Rios throws 203 more, lands at a 41% connect percentage, which was going to be very dangerous for Mike Alvarado had the fight continued. Alvarado landing at a 23% connect percentage, but basically he wasn't there. He had very little to offer in terms of opposition from the very beginning of the fight. And now, standing right next to me, is the winner of the fight and the winner of the trilogy, a very proud Brandon Rios. Brandon, we said after yesterday's meeting that we felt you looked as prepared and as ready for a fight as we have ever seen. Obviously, you were in sensational condition. You were ready to put on one of your best performances ever tonight, weren't you?
Yes, I had to, man. I had to come out here, and of course they're going to boo me, but at the end of the day, it's okay. I love Denver. Thank you guys for the support. But anyways, I had to do what I had to do, man. I had to come well prepared because this was my end of my career it could be. So I didn't want that to happen. I got a lot of gas in my tank still, and I don't want that to end like this.
At what point in round one did you say to yourself, wow, this is going to be easy?
You know, I never thought it was going to be easy. You know, I know Alvarado's a warrior, and I knew he could bounce back and hit me with any shot because he got power in both hands. So I had to just take my time, be patient, and listen to my corner, and all the instruction, and follow the game plan and camp and everything, been disciplined, and I come out victorious.
You particularly couldn't miss with the uppercut. Was that a planned weapon coming in?
Oh, no, that's my favorite. You know, that's my favorite punch. I love my uppercuts. I think I got the deadliest uppercuts in the world and one of the best. I know how to throw them and everything, so that's my favorite punch.
Want to take a look at the knockdown, which is the product of an accumulation of punishment?
I figured it was uppercut, right?
Here's a look, Brandon.
Yeah, man, we were practicing those shots in the gym. Overhand upper, and then right there, again overhead when he's open, just catch him. So, you know, if I follow the game plan, I've been disciplined, and you can see what I can do when I'm at my best. I perform very well.
All right, so the brief losing streak is over. You've got the big win that makes you the winner of the trilogy. What next in your career now?
You know what, I lead it up to Cameron Duncan. He's one of the best managers in the world, and he'll give me the best fights out there. So whatever he says, I'm ready for. I don't care who it is. The Russian, Victor Ortiz, if he wants to get it, I'll get down with him. Bad Blood, whoever, man. I don't care. I'm a fighter. I'm a warrior. I'll fight anybody.
Congratulations on the win. Do you have anything to say to your compadre, Mike Alvarado, who's standing here next to me?
It was an honor with my brother, man. It was an honor. Hey, after all the stuff that we do, man, we're still best friends, man. This is my boy right here. I love him. You know,
Turn around and say it to the camera.
You know, me and Alvarado, you know, after all the stuff we've been through, you know, he's my boy. I got really close to him. I know who he is. He knows who I am. We're the same type of person, and we're warriors. And we come out to fight all the time, man. Today, fortunately, he'll bounce back. You know, he'll bounce back all the time. It is what it is.
Thank you very much, Brandon. Congratulations. And now, here is the very brave Mike Alvarado. A braver fighter you won't find. You were courageous again in there tonight, but from the get-go, he seemed to seize the initiative, and I was surprised that you weren't firing back in round one. What was up?
I was still getting comfortable. I was still getting in my zone and moving, doing whatnot, but caught me with a good uppercut and right in my eye. I couldn't see. My vision was not there, so I decided to make the call of, you know.
So just one uppercut made a change in your ability to see.
Perfectly right on the dot in the eye, so I just couldn't see. So, you know, I was looking at my physical condition, so, you know, I didn't want to, you know, I could have showed heart, but who knows what happened after that.
So the purpose of calling an end to it was to preserve chances for later on in your career.
I'm not done yet at all. I'm far from being at my best, so I will be back. I guarantee everyone in this place I'll be back, so it doesn't matter. I'll be back.
Mike, it's inescapable that this is basically the same conclusion that we saw in the Provodnikov fight when you fought here a couple of years ago. And obviously, when you come home to fight in front of this crowd, you're looking for a big celebration and a homecoming win. It hasn't happened for you. Is it a mistake to fight in Denver?
You know, it was all in the preparation of my training too as well. You know, I wasn't training like I should have been. Well, this is what I get. This is what I get. I got to get back to drawing boards and get back on it, you know? I ain't done yet. I'm far from done. I'm not at peace with myself for, you know, saying I'm at least, you know, I gave it all I got. I didn't give it all I got, you know? So, that's what I get. So, it's whatever. They can take out how they want to and bring out how they feel, so it don't matter.
You're being a man and putting it on yourself, saying that you were not as prepared as you should have been.
I wasn't as prepared as I should have been, you know? This is what I get, so it is what it is. It's whatever.
Well, your trainer, Sean Billhauer, is now getting upset because of the response of some of these fans. And obviously, you know, they're with you when you win. They're not necessarily with you when you lose. Where do you want to go in your future?
I'm just gonna, you know, get myself healthy again. I got a marriage to look forward to. So, you know, I got my kids. I got all the positive things and every attributes that I need to, you know, be better myself. So you know, get myself together and come back.
And a wedding coming up on March 14. Congratulations again on that, and best of luck in the future.
Thank you.
All right, Mike Alvarado.